So, the Calgary Flames, depth takes a gigantic blow as Walker Duehr is on his way to the San Jose Sharks by way of waivers. So, I tend to not try to get too worked up about some of these things because, I mean, Walker Duehr was a guy who, he's an easy one for fans to fall in love with, right? Because he is coming off of, he has this run, he has a name that you can make the jokes with, right? Like, oh, Duehr, I bet, and so, when he comes in, he is the type of player that you fall in love with. He skates very, very quickly, he goes crash, bang, bang, boom, and all of that, and it's a very, very fun time, and we all have a great time. The thing with him was that it kept getting worse the longer he was up. Right, like he would have this, he would have this boost, he would have this intensity, and then it would start to falter. And say, okay, we'll send him back down, call him back up. All right, we got this boost, and everything's good. And then it starts to falter again. And there are but so many times you can roll through with that before you kind of got to realize that's probably just who he is, right? Like he is a guy who can come in, provide a quick boost of energy, and either teams figure it out or something happens internally with him or whatever it is, and it doesn't end up really going the way that you would like it to. All these websites with different color schemes and whatnot really throws off the lighting of a show. But Toxic saying he doesn't have the brain to be an NHLer. That could be, right? Like it could just be like okay, well, it's not clicking, so whatever, or whatever the case may be. But no, I think he is a fine fourth line energy guy, and I think he is a fine guy to take a shot with if you're the San Jose Sharks. But it's not like we're still trying to figure out, hey, what is Walker Duehr exactly? My guy's 27 years old, and that doesn't mean he can't figure it out or anything like that. But I think we're kind of at a point where we know what he is at this point. He has played 84 games in the National Hockey League. He has 19 points and 10 penalty minutes. He has 9 goals, none of which have come this year. And I don't know why it doesn't work with him. I don't know why a guy like that there's a consistency thing, because it's not like if it was a top-line player, and this is all being way more disrespectful to Walker Duehr than I'd like to be, but if it's a top-line player, then you can kind of justify it by saying, well, the rest of the league has kind of figured him out. I don't think there were deep, intense scouting game plans happening with the Winnipeg Jets trying to figure out, hey, what the fuck do we do with Walker Duehr? Right? I don't think that's happening. So Deeds is saying it's a motivation to push himself up the lineup. I think that's it. I think that there is a level that he can get to playing his style at the American Hockey League, that there is a little bit more resistance at the NHL level as well. And I do think, to Toxic's point, there's a little bit of having to think your way through some things as well at the NHL level, where it can be a little bit more just read and react and just grip and rip it, man, at the in the AHL. It's tantalizing because in the AHL, this year, he's at 11 goals and he's basically a point per game. And 2 years ago, he was at 15 goals with 41 games played down there. So he is a good AHL player, but I just don't think it meshes up here at the NHL level. And so to me, this is also part of what you are going through in a rebuild or a retool or whatever is happening here with the Calgary Flames. This is a part of it because you want to give players a chance. And I know in our minds that we like to think that it's just always going to work, right? It's always just going to click. It's always going to be great. You're going to give a kid a chance and he's going to progress. And one year he's going to get 5 goals. Then the next year he's going to get 15. And then the next year he's going to get that. And one part of it we have to realize is that sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I think for Walker Duehr, I'm not saying that it didn't work out. He could be a Flame playing that way for forever and it'd be fine. But you want to see what you have. And you know what you have in Walker Duehr. And to be perfectly frank and to be perfectly blunt, you can do what San Jose did. You can find a Walker Duehr on the waiver wire, right? You can find that guy any day of the week you want on the waiver wire. Derek Ryan on the waiver wire tomorrow. You can claim that guy. Boom, done. You can get that type of a depth thing. So why not open up that spot and see what you have in other guys who may have earned another opportunity? Enter Clark Bishop. The 28-year-old hasn't played in the NHL since the 21-22 season. He has 47 games played at the NHL level with 1 goal to speak of, that coming in his first year with the Carolina Hurricanes. This year with the Wranglers, he, like everyone with the Wranglers, is doing well. He is at 33 points in 39 games, 16 goals. So almost at like a half goal per game pace for the Wranglers captain. And so this is another one. Let's see what you got. He can play center. You can feel comfortable that way, that center depth is perpetually an issue in this organization. So give him a chance to see what you got in that guy and see what you can do with him. If he ends up just being another Walker Duehr, give the next guy a try. And I understand, like, oh, well, the depth of the organization is being tested out forward. And yeah, like they have lost some guys, right? The one that stings is Schwint. That's one. He's 24 years old. It feels like there's a little bit something extra there. And again, center depth being what it is with the Flames. That one was the one that stings. This one, I can't get too worked up about a guy who I think peaks as a third liner leaving. That's not going to be the thing that sets this team back or anything like that. It's worth taking a shot if you're San Jose and you're just kind of starting this thing going. But for the Flames, when you have a few other guys that you want to test out, you want to see what a Clark Bishop can do. And then down at the AHL level, you want to see what Stromgren can do, with more minutes. You want to see what a couple of those other guys can do with some more minutes. You want to see a bit of an enhanced role for a Klapka, getting a bit more of an opportunity down there. And so it's weird to say that a fourth line guy was in the way, but he is in the way of stopping someone else from moving up that allows another guy to push up. And we're at a spot with the Flames where there is at least a little bit of push up now coming from the back, and that is going to lead to these types of things. So I view this as a good thing. I think, again, like it would have been better if it worked out with Walker Duehr than for it to have not worked out with Walker Duehr. But I can't get myself to get too worked up about this sort of a thing. I was with with Toxic as well. I'm surprised it is Bishop. I thought Dryden Hunt had a good enough season down at the American Hockey League level that he gets a bit of a look. And obviously there's a chemistry there with Cairns and with Pelche. So give them a bit of a role. But again, I think that there are a number of interesting things that you want to look at. And for the Flames, you want to see, again, what all these guys have. And part of that is recognizing that some of them don't have what you're looking for, and you need to give other guys opportunities so you know how many spots you need to fill. We're getting to a point where trades could start happening soon, and I don't see the Flames dumping off a whole lot of assets, but maybe there are a couple of moves that bring in a couple of American Hockey League guys, and you want to know, where do we need to slot guys in here right now? And obviously the main one is center, but you want to see, like, is Stromgren, God, I hope I get that one figured out by the time he gets called up. Is Stromgren going to be a legitimate, like, top 6 guy? Or is he more a 3-4 guy? Let's try to figure that out so we can see organizationally what we need to do. So I think it's a fine move for the Flames, and I think it just shows that there is maybe a little bit more depth in this organization than we thought coming into the 2024-2025 season. As far as the on-ice product is concerned, the Calgary Flames are back in action tonight. They are taking on the Sabres of Buffalo. The Buffalo Sabres, a rebuilding hockey team perpetually, and that rebuild is going swimmingly this season as they currently sit dead-ass last in the Eastern Conference, coming off of a victory in their last game over the Vancouver Canucks, that one snapping a quick 2-game losing streak for them. For Calgary, the game is back at the Dome tonight. That matters not to the Buffalo Sabres, who are 9-12-3 at home and 9-12-2 on the road. So this is one where you win this game tonight if you're the Flames, right? Like you go out there and you pick yourself up a dub and you kind of move it on. We have Steinberg tweeting, looks like Clark Bishop will make his Flames debut tonight. Kevin Rooney, Joel Hanley, and Tyson Barrie working late after optional morning skate. They'll be healthy scratches. Dustin Wolf starts in net. So I like that you're giving Bishop a chance. Rooney has, I think, is another one that has kind of fallen off with a little bit longer of a run here. So give Bishop an opportunity, see what he has, and maybe that fills in a spot there. And then again, all of a sudden, Rooney is now a guy who maybe becomes a little bit expendable in that sort of a thing. And that's another thing where you get to see what you have in a center iceman here in Bishop, and can he be maybe a bit more of a cost-effective fourth line player in that particular role. So I think for the Flames tonight, it is just go out there and treat a bad team kind of like a bad team and see if you can get a couple more points, try to create some separation in the standings. You got the Vancouver Canucks, who, as mentioned, on a bit of a slide, watched a little bit of my old friends' game over Vancouver last night, or the other night, after their loss against Buffalo, and there's a lot of concern about what's going on with the goaltending spot right now, as Thatcher Demko hasn't really figured it out. They got a matchup with the Oilers tonight, which, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but that's kind of a thing right now, that this Oilers-Canucks whole shindig that's going on. I haven't talked about that a whole lot. That thing is stupid. The Oilers' reaction to that is that of a petulant child. Like, what? Oh, well, if I'm Connor McDavid, you want to suspend me? I'm just not going to play in your things anymore. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's great for the game. And so all of this, like, hey, they need to treat Connor McDavid like a star, and they need to really build up with that there's no reciprocating that. Hey, that, there's no, he needs to also try to help the league out and not cross-check human beings in the mouth. Like, it is so blatant. It is so dumb. He did it. He cross-checked the guy. This isn't like the Houston Texans and a roughing the passer thing that may or may not have happened. He up and smoked the dude in the face with his stick. That is a suspension. Can't be doing that. And so any other suggestion that goes against anything other than he should have been suspended is just you being a spoiled brat about things. So stop it. Because it's annoying and it's embarrassing to your entire organization, which is saying a lot for that organization. So anyway, I always remember these when they're like an Edmonton sports job pops up, sports talk. Oh, hey, maybe I could do, you know what? I probably, if I'm going to do that, there's going to be a lot of deleting I'm going to have to do before I make a move up there. But why would I when I got fun, when I have a lot of fun down here? So anyway, that's what's going on with the Calgary Flames. Very winnable game tonight, and that is with or without Walker Duehr.